Hey everyone, Fred here, and welcome to another one of my market updates for the City of Toronto, where we'll look at last month's numbers for February 2023 and compare it to previous performance. So if you want to figure out what it all means, stick around. This is the date. This is when things turn around. You're probably saying to yourself right now, hey Fred, why is this such a special day? Well, it's because it's the day the Bank of Canada announced that they would put a pause on interest rate hikes after a year of continuous rate increases, which saw rates rise from 0.5% to 4.5% over the year. And since this promised a pause, we began to see signs of life in the market in what would some consider an idle market for the latter half of 2022. So essentially, those buyers who were sitting on the sidelines waiting patiently to determine how high interest rates would actually get finally got their answer on January 25th. And they decided to jump back into the market along with their pent-up demand. And this pent-up demand spilled into February. And this is highly evident in the month-over-month figures we'll get into in a few moments. This sudden surge of buyers was unexpected, but very welcome after experiencing a very inactive market, well, in comparison to the past few years. Overall, the upward trend in month-over-month figures is a good indication that we will have a somewhat active spring market this year. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at the actual numbers so you can see for yourself. In January, the average price in the City of Toronto reported by the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board once again shot above $1 million, reaching $1,071,043, after dipping slightly below $1 million last month at $987,842, resulting in an 8.4% increase month over month. But it's down 11.5% year over year. Now, just a reminder that the first quarter of 2022 was when we saw highly inflated prices, which were obviously unsustainable. So this year-over-year decrease is not surprising, and actually is a bit comforting in the sense that we're back to acceptable levels, without the threat of a bubble bursting. So that being said, let's also compare 2023 to 2021 figures. The average price in February 2021 hit $995,201. So when compared to this, February 2023 actually increased 7.6%. Now let's look at number of new listings. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board recorded 3,314 new listings last month, which is an increase of 10.1% month over month and a decrease of 32.2% year over year. Yet when compared to 2021, we saw a decrease of 29.6%. These stats reinforce the fact that there's still a shortage of supply in the market. Next, we'll look at number of sales. There were 1,745 properties sold in February, which is an increase of 57.5% month over month, and a decrease of 46.1% year over year. It sunk 53.4% compared to 2021. Now let's dig a bit deeper and look at the numbers based on housing type. But before we do, I'm hoping you take a moment and hit that like button, because by doing so, you'll help get my content out to like-minded people who want to learn more about real estate in the GTA. It only takes a few seconds, and it would mean a lot to me. So let's get back into it and look at different housing types. The average price of detached homes in Toronto was recorded at $1,712,364. This is up month over month by 15.2% and down by 17.4% year over year. But when compared to 2021, it's up 1.7%. There were a total of 482 detached homes sold in February, up 51.6% month over month, yet down 38.7% year over year and down 47.3% from 2021. The average price for semi-detached homes was recorded at $1,280,380, up 11.3% month over month, but down 14.6% year over year. But it's only down 3.3% when compared to 2021. There were 144 semi-detached homes sold in February, up 71.4% from January, but down 45.2% year over year. It's also down 51.2% compared to 2021. The prices of townhomes continue to perform well in February. The average price in Toronto increased 2.5% month over month, hitting $1,005,342. And although it's down 11.2% when compared to the inflated prices of February of last year, it's up 10.1% compared to 2021. As I mentioned in my previous market updates, the price of townhomes is a segment we'll want to keep an eye on as we move forward in 2023. We saw 161 townhomes sold in the month of February. And although month-over-month figures showed signs of strength by increasing a whopping 75%, the year-over-year figures suffered, decreasing 50% year-over-year and 52.8% compared to 2021. Lastly, let's look at condos, where the average price hit $728,271, an increase of 2.4% month-over-month, and a decrease of 11.4% year-over-year, but up 7.6% compared to 2021. There were 952 condos sold in the city of Toronto last month, up 57.6% month-over-month and down 48.3% year-over-year. And it's also down 56.1% versus 2021. So overall, month-over-month figures are trending in the right direction, which is positive news as it indicates momentum is picking up in the city of Toronto as we head into the spring market. But despite these great month-over-month figures, the numbers for properties listed and sold reinforce the issue of supply, or the lack thereof. There are just not enough homes listed to satisfy demand. And this holds true not only for the city of Toronto, but for the entire GTA as a whole. So as long as solid demand for housing persists, we'll continue to see gradual price increases throughout 2023, but nothing like the prices we experienced in the first quarter of 2022. Instead, the increases will be at a sustainable pace right through 2023. So that's your Toronto market update for the month of February. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the comments below. Or you can visit my website at fredrena.com. I'm always here to help. Thanks for watching, everyone, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.